Lovely to see you all again for our Yin Yoga session now. Now, just a quick introduction to Yin for those who haven't come to a Yin Yoga session before. Yin Yoga, it really works on these longer holds. The premise behind that being to really just work into the facial tissue, so the connective tissue holding the skeleton really together, which we don't really tend to spend, pay that much attention to. We do a lot of work stretching out bones and, the big kind of limbs of the body. But in Yin, through the very positioning and supporting of the body in these longer holds, positions, just means almost everything can decompress, becomes quite meditative because you're basically just relaxing, settling into the flow of sensation, really that awareness of the flow of energy within you. And like anything, when everything slows down, it means you've got a bit more space and time to listen inwards. And within that, well, we all kind of know the body's a kind of storage pot for our emotions. Anything we don't process at the time of feeling it has to go somewhere. It's energy. It doesn't just vanish or evaporate. And this obviously is the perfect vehicle and vessel to hold all of that, that whole mind-body matrix and connection. So you may find when you're practicing that just different sensations, but also different emotions just rise up. It might just be things that are immediately going on going on in your life. Sorry, I get that. It may be things from a long time ago. You just suddenly get little flashbacks, little memories. Doesn't matter. All I'd say is just, it's all energy and it passes. And I know we can all get a bit obsessed sometimes with trying to analyze and introspect and make sense out of any of it. But normally there's no reason in a way behind it. You just feel it, you experience it, and it goes, poof. It dissolves. You actually no longer need to carry that energy then within you. And what lies instead? Well, I don't really want to go into the philosophy of that. It's more experiential, this is. But there is a lightness then, because you're no longer carrying that weight, that emotional weight within you. You can just sit with things. Breath to breath, moment to moment. Each breath, a bead that you're stringing on this necklace of awareness. Anyway, enough words. Hands resting in the lap. And just make yourself comfortable in your seat. Just let yourself arrive with yourself. And you may just want to find a couple of words, heartfelt words, values, virtues, that may be useful to you to kind of steer your mind through any challenges, not just now, but into the rest of the day, time. So if, when you ever feel you're losing your thread, mindfulness, when you can feel yourself starting to slip into those very inbuilt patterns we all have of reactivity, you can just draw the mind maybe back to those words and reset the emotional body, the physical body, bringing the mind back home again and again. So a few moments to listen into the heart. Find a couple of words to plant into the heart. And trusting that whatever you feel, whatever is happening within you, is the way it is because it is the way it is. And eyes opening again. So coming onto your mat with your blanket beneath you, if you're using that. And I've got another blanket here and I'm just pushing that down onto the mat. Just a little bit in front. I'm just going to pull out mine a little bit further so you can see it a bit better. And we're going to start sitting back on the heels, knees coming apart from one another. Obviously, the more you push your knees apart, the more you'll feel it in your inner groin. And you can put a block down here if you want to. We're sliding forward into the forward fold here. So letting yourself settle into that forward fold. Just get a clock down so I can see the time. There. We're going to take a few moments there, so a few minutes actually, in each position. So there really is no rush or need to have to, make anything happen. All you're really doing is just relaxing into this. Each breath, each moment. And at some point, you may notice that your mind is travelling quite far outside of the body. Maybe gets drawn into a world of thought, things you have to do, or just things that maybe are just there, waiting to be noticed. If and when you notice that your mind is very busy thinking, don't feel you've got to kind of blank that out or get rid of those thoughts, but just putting them down, as it were, and guiding your attention back into the body. Use your breath like a compass, keeping hold of that compass, so you keep your awareness of where the mind is. Take just a few moments more here. And then you're going to ease your way back into sitting. Now, because you've been slow and still for so long, do take your time with transitions. There's really no rush here. Just a couple of breaths, arriving back. And then find your way onto all fours. And from all fours, we're going to thread the needle now. So left hand will come underneath your right. You're coming down onto the right, the left temple. And from there, up onto the fingertips of your right hand. And this is your shape for the next few moments. And a bit like you're kind of looking to draw yourself to a point of relaxation that's pretty close to sleep actually. You don't have to push into any of this. I know we're all very programmed to kind of act so and try to make the shape a bit deeper, a bit more pronounced, as if that's going to bring more benefits to us. But honestly, it's almost like I'm doing some of those habits here. We're just letting the body relax in these shapes. And your body kind of knows how to reset itself really far better than often our minds do when they're trying very hard to find relaxation or well-being. So just letting your body settle into contact with the earth. And the breath can flow quite freely. Always find eyes shut in the yin practice, it's nice. Because you can then just use it as a meditation really, to see what's rising up within you. And if and when you want to move, maybe there's a particularly challenging sensation within you. Of course, if it's painful, then do, adjust yourself to soften that. But if it's just sensation and it's more a sense of you want to move away from that discomfort or kind of escape it, then just become curious about that sensation. You observe it closely, like a detective. Just note what it is. What's the feeling tone of it? Does it throb? Does it ache? Is it dull? Does it tingle? You'll notice maybe so much of how we respond or react is really due to what we feel about sensation within the body that rises up. Just listening without actually having to react to what you hear. Another few breaths. And then you'll come back onto all fours. And from there, you're going to come around and you're going to do the opposite side. So, Right hand will come underneath left, down onto the right temple, up onto the left fingertips. And we'll take a few rounds of breath on this side, maybe for more than a few rounds. Let gravity be your friend. You may need to keep relaxing quite consciously, again and again. Another few rounds. And finding your way back and onto all fours. So arriving on all fours, you just may want to put a little bit of sway just into the body. And then we're setting ourselves up now for the next asana, which is going to be Sphinx. So again, padding underneath you as you come down and onto your belly. And then elbows underneath shoulders. And if you imagine there's a light in the heart, right in the center, that's just lifting up and forward. It's almost like you've got this sense of lift through the spine, in between your shoulders. Make sure your hands and arms are wide enough so you've got that space. And then letting weight travel down into the legs, the feet, the arms. So your body's really, the skeleton is supporting this shape. It just helps to free up the mind and feeling it's got to do the work, as it were. Just trusting the skeleton to hold you here for a few moments. Eyes shutting. And your breath, like the compass within you. You've got this wonderful still point of awareness, whatever else rising up in the body. Just keep bringing the mind back home into this place of sanctuary of breath. Remember, whatever you're feeling, whatever sensation is, just energy, maybe trapped, congested. But like the weather changes, so too that energy will shift. And bringing awareness to it without reacting means it can travel freely, more quickly, more smoothly. No right, no wrong, just energy. And a few rounds of breath. And we'll bring the body down. You're making a little pillow here for your forehead. So one set of fingertips on top of the other in a little pillow. And the forehead can rest on the top. And I always find this contact with the earth here is rather lovely. So just consciously breathing out into your belly. Feeling that sense of the breath radiating out into the earth beneath you. When you're ready to, lifting up, and we're coming into sitting now. And starting in sitting with the soles of the feet together, and you've created a diamond from the pelvis out through the legs to the soles. And you may want to make a little pile of cushions, maybe a bolster here, on top of the feet. So, as you come forward, you've just got something to lean on. Don't worry about the shape of your forward fold. You're just letting yourself relax. Head easing forward. And we take a few rounds of breath, a few moments there. Remembering your stance, a bit like a detective, becoming curious about this flow of energy, form it manifests in, your reaction to it, the relationship towards it. Keep resetting that relationship, each breath. with the flow of your intention, holding it in kindness, be kind to yourself through it. Bringing your mind to your practice intention into the breath, using those as your guide through sensation rising and passing. You're going to take your time and slowly ease your way up from that, putting bolsters close by and cushions close by, and your legs coming together and stretching them out now, long length of your mat. Now forward folds, you can point the toes here, don't feel you've got to have them flexed up. Bringing cushions up on top of you, maybe a blanket on top as well. And then in breath, just lifting up, and out breath into an easy forward fold. So you're just letting yourself relax. Again, allow the body to drop forward for a few minutes there. You're probably starting to feel a little bit by now, just with these longer holds in the body. That just opens up parts of the body that normally we don't really pay attention to. It kind of brings the body, everything down. It's rather beautiful place, space. Almost like the mind can slow down as the body slows down. So setting this space with a sense of kindness. Sense of acceptance of whatever you find on the surface or buried within you. trusting that it will rise, it will ebb, it will flow. So easy to get caught up into that sense of then having to change what you find, to kind of airbrush it away or shift it, because it's difficult to sit with, to be with. So even if it's a breath at a time, just one breath, full acceptance of that sensation, the feeling that comes with it. It takes away the fear, the pattern of the activity. And in doing so, it's like you're opening up inside the mind, inside the heart, the whole entire palette, the universe, different possible emotions, feelings that we can feel as human beings. Accepting that whole paint pot full of different emotions. And in that comes freedom. Literally expanding out the center, the circumference of your comfort zone. Allowing new things in without that fear of reacting against them. Excuse me. And taking your time again to come back up into sitting. And from sitting, if you just find your way into a down dog now, just a few rounds of breath. And from your down dog, we're making our way into a pigeon. So underneath the mat, you may just want to roll up some blanket going sideways across the mat. Even putting a cushion or something underneath as well. And then the start of the right leg is going to come forward, so it's more or less behind your right wrist, and the foot is crossing over to the left side of the body, so it's on the diagonal. Now the left leg is slowly going to slide out behind you, and the pelvis wants to relax down on your cushion, on some sort of padding. That right foot tucked into your left groin. You can relax that foot now. And from here, it's really up to you how far down you come. You can come onto the forearms. From there, you may want to stretch out your arms. You're going to be here for a few moments, just finding a comfortable place so you can relax into it without pushing and then having to draw back too quickly. And the eyes shutting again. Remember, bringing the body to that point almost as if you were taking the body towards sleep, so letting the body sink lower to the ground. Keep relaxing any areas of tightness that you see, you perceive. And the body breathe its natural prayer. Keep resetting a relationship with yourself, to emotion, to sensation, to kindness, with care. And we'll slowly start to walk the hands back in again. And then Going to slide that right leg back again. And you're going to ease out into down dog. You may want to let the breath out through the mouth a couple of times. Setting yourself up for the other side. The left knee is crossing behind the left the left hand, and the foot's crossed over to the right hand side of the body. Then sliding back, so the left foot will end somewhere in the right groin. And coming into it slowly, these aren't intense, these kind of pigeon positions, they really do open things up. So really take your time just to drop into it slowly. We'll take a few moments on this side. Using your breath and intention to steady the mind, to keep it focused. Keep relaxing into the sensation. And the more you can kind of find that stance of observing it, rather than kind of diving into it, getting swept along in its current. You'll just pass through that current more quickly, more easily and smoothly. Settle progress in your relationship to mind, to body, each breath, each moment. We're starting to make our way back up and arriving back into sitting. We're stretching legs out in front of us again. Let's get that back. Again, coming back into a forward fold, so using your bolster if you'd like to, cushions, or any more props that you feel need to, want to. And we'll slide the hands down, legs, and the head can just bow forward. So rather than a normal forward fold, we're looking to stretch out and straighten out into the spine. You just kind of allow your spine to curve and the head to relax under its weight. Another minute. You're starting to find your way up again. So coming now down onto the spine. And the knees will be bent. We're going to come into a twist there. You've got a few choices. You can either just keep the knees together and just drop them over to one side. If you want to go a little bit deeper, then crossing one leg over the other. Quite a tight cross. And the knees can just drop down, wherever they want to rest. And just kind of smooth them out with that right hand. And the left hand, you're stretching out. And letting yourself relax into gravity as much as you can here. The body is literally just resting on the earth. letting that different sensation change. They're not static. There's always that movement within the body, within the mind. And coming back to the center line. And you're crossing your legs the other, crossing your legs the other way. Knees drop over to the left hand side. The left hand's moving out the right thigh. The right arm stretching out to the side. Another few breaths. And easing the knees back to the center line. And from here, hug your knees in. Just massaging out the sacrum, moving them side to side. And from here, gliding into Shavasana. Just using your blanket, so warm, comfortable. And letting your body settle and relax. And feeling the weight of the body in lying down. The connection to that. Taking time and deepening the breath, and feeling the breath pour through the body, flow outwards through the body, into arms, fingers, down the legs, toes, washing through the skull, filling the trunk of the body, the pelvis. And when you're ready to, stretching up the arms over the head, breathing in, so do so. Then out through the mouth. And arms coming back down again. And from there, you bend your knees and then, with eyes shut, roll over to the side of the body for a few breaths. And finding your way up and into sitting. And arriving in sitting, hands on the lap, and your eyes shut. And closing the practice, palms rising up to heart, and the head bowing that down towards the hands, towards the heart. And breathing in to your practice intention 3 times silently to yourself. And greeting self and each other. And letting go of the practice when you're ready.